Welcome to Nukkadcode. Today we are going to understand important topic. Sorry. SOP versus CORS. CORS is most widely asked in interview question like how would you handle CORS error when it comes. Okay, so let's understand. First we will go to a diagram. We will see where they belong in the entire domain of the software where these issues come. So let's first understand the domain where it occurs. Then we will go about the understanding of the concept and what are how to fix so, sorry, how to fix the errors, CORS errors. Okay, so let me take you to the diagram. So here you can see same origin policy. The name suggests same origin. What do you mean by same origin? Same origin is like if we have an application server which is running on port 8080, here you can see, and then a client also on 8080, then we can say that they are on the same origin. Okay, so here in the diagram I have a Spring Boot app which is running up and running on Tomcat server. Okay, I can show you here. Also I have this Spring Boot application on my local. Do not go on the classes everything, just keep in mind like I have a Spring Boot app here. Okay, now what we need to do, I have the diagram. Let me show you here. So here you can see this diagram. I have shown you Spring Boot app running actually, and then I have Postman also. So here you can see the Postman. Okay, so these two things are in the diagram right now. Now our web server, this Spring Boot server is running on port localhost 8080. So here in the logs you can see this is when application started. As we know, generally Tomcat default port is 8080. So this is the diagram here. Okay, I think you got the diagram idea. Now let's understand the concept of same origin policy. The same origin by sorry, same origin by definition, it is the same origin policy is a web browser security mechanism that aims to prevent websites from attacking each other, and the same origin policy restricts scripts on one origin from accessing data from another origin. Also, an origin consists of a URI scheme, domain and port number. Here you can see just like here a normal domain is normalwebsite.com, something like that, and this is called URL. Okay, in localhost we generally have a URL as something like this. I'm sorry. Okay, so we got the definition like if application server and the client which is accessing the resource running on web server or application server, then if they are on the same origin, just like here 8080, then they are called to be same origin, and all the requests which are being coming from 8080 to this server which is also running on 8080, it will allow all the requests. Other than that, if it comes from any different origin, then it will restrict. This Tomcat server will restrict the origin of that request. Basically all the requests other than this origin would be restricted. I hope you got this same origin concept by definition and by the diagram. It is self-explanatory, nothing to explain much. And then CORS, this is cross origin resource sharing. So cross origin resource sharing generally happens most of the people which have kind of entire module like front end and back end together in an application. Mostly application they face these issues. And here you can see we have a Vite plus React localhost app which is running on localhost 57. Actually it is 5173. I think I have mistakenly written. So 5173 port is default for wait, and then when it tries to access the resource which is running on backend 80 localhost 8080, then it is not able to access the resource. Okay. What is resource here? By resource we mean the APIs which are basically we expose just like in Spring Boot app. Let me show you. Here you can see I have some URLs which is slash venues, and then there is a method like this list of venues is being returned. So this is a one resource. Okay, we can say it like this. Resource is available on this slash venues localhost http uh, localhost 8080 slash venues. This is available. We can see on the Swagger also I have this on Swagger, so you can see something like this, like all the APIs are here. So we were looking into venues, so here you can see not this one, venues, there is a yeah, this one. So here you can see the resource. Yeah, the is resource URL is http localhost 8080 slash venues. Okay, so this is said to be a resource. I hope this diagram you got the concept. Now look at the origin. It is at 5713 and one the web server at 8080. So this is different origin. Okay. So when this Vite React client tries to access the resource slash venue something on this web server, then it gets the error access control allow origin. This error generally comes to front-end developers in the Chrome web browser or any web browser. Mostly people use Chrome or maybe Safari or Firefox. So this request error, basically this your error come in the console portion of the web browser, which is which is you will see, and you can fix it by two methods. One is like if you can send in the client browser also, while sending the request, you can attach the headers, and then you can add origin access, then it will from the client also it will allow. But for backends is mostly this we are dealing with the Spring Boot app, then in the backend we need to whitelist this IP, this localhost URL or IP. You can see if IP would be 1.0.0.127, right? So this needs to be whitelisted in the origins, cross origins section of the Spring Boot. So generally how we remove this error, we in Spring Boot app, for all the controllers, if a controller is there, then what we need to do in the controller section, sorry, we need to use this annotation at the rate cross origin. This annotation is sometimes very much times it is asked in interviews also. How do you handle CORS in the backend? So in the controller we need to annotate it with at the cross origin, and then we need to whitelist the localhost IPs, whatever the second origin is there. We need to write it here in the origin section. Sorry. So this way this error goes. Okay, and this handles now all the resources would be available once this is whitelisted. Okay, so now after doing this cross origin annotation and then writing this allow headers, all the headers and the allow are true, now this Vite React tab would be able to access the resource, that is slash venues, from localhost 5713, which is a different origin. So two origins, when different origins are there, it is called to be cross origin, and when same origin like same port, then it is called to be same origin policy. So I hope you are clear. Thank you very much to be here on Kurkut. Please like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much.